Hey, how's it going? My name is Diego. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get your first 1,000 subscribers on your Typee channel. And I'm going to do this in a very step-by-step, easy to understand way. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. All right, so let's dive into the struggle of type beats. So most producers struggle to get traction on YouTube. And here's the exact method I used to hit 1,000 subscribers fast on dozens of my Typee channels. Because if you don't know already, I've blown up tons of Typee channels, dozens, and I've done it in basically every niche you can think of. And I've managed to continue growing and getting success within this industry year after year. Now, producers typically have the misconception that growing a Typee channel in 2025 is too saturated or too late, right? And the reality is that even though a lot of producers are uploading type beats, it's actually easier than ever to get started. Now, the first thing you want to do is nail down your niche. Okay, so in order to break through and kind of get your first 1,000 subscribers, you will need to nail down your niche. And I know that picking a niche sounds overwhelming, especially since as producers, we want to make all kinds of beats, right? But if you just nail down your niche and actually take some time to think, okay, what kind of beats do I love making? Because at the end of the day, you can blow up on any niche. I always tell this to people, like, you can blow up on any niche you want, so you might as well start posting on beats that you love making. So try and figure out what do you actually love doing? What gets you excited to get out of bed every morning and actually start making beats? What is that style? And once you figure that out, you'll be in a very good position to actually start seeing your first 1,000 subscribers on your Typee channel. It becomes a lot easier when you actually love what you do. But look, I do understand that, you know, picking a niche for producers is kind of like boxing yourself in. You know, we don't really like that. I myself understand because, you know, I'm a producer, I get it. But what's nice is, you know, you don't necessarily need to box yourself in. You can also post your beats, you know, on your Spotify, or you can send out loops and samples and your beats out for placements. You can take your beats and any type of beats that you like making, and you can make sample packs out of them. You can make drum kits out of them, right? You don't have to just only make beats for your Typee channel. That's crazy. But you do have to post on one style of beat or your Typee channel. That's you can't negotiate with that. But you know, I'm never telling you guys to only make beats for your Typee channel. That will get so repetitive and honestly take the fun out of music for you. So I don't recommend that. But when it comes to YouTube, definitely stick to a style, stick to a niche, and get really good at it, because you'll start to see your growth look like this when you become an expert at what you do. Become an expert at that one thing. You know, it's really important. Imagine if I never, you know, did the Typee thing, or I just tried doing all kinds of different things. I tried doing sample packs, I tried doing the whole placement thing. Like, I would have never become great at the type beat stuff. I would have never become great at the online beat selling space, right? So it goes the same thing for your niche, right? Become great at a sound. Maybe it's R&B for you. Maybe it's soul beats, right? Maybe it's boom bap beats. Whatever your thing is, become great at that thing, and people will recognize that you are great at that thing, and they'll want to pay more for it, right? So yeah, I get that it sounds overwhelming, you know, to box yourself in, but if you look at it from that angle that I just shared, it makes it a lot easier, right? You can kind of breathe now, you know? So here's the thing though. Just because you're posting one style of beat on your Typee channel doesn't mean you can't make other styles of beats. Let me show you how you can go about it without boxing yourself in. Method one is, you know, you can lock in on one niche when you're starting out and later expand as your Typee channel grows into the thousands. You know, I've done that myself with my Typee channels. I've started, you know, very niche, and then I expand in the niche. I don't expand out of the niche. I expand in the niche, right? That's something producers often get confused, is they'll get success at one thing and then they try, you know, doing the complete opposite thing. They expand out of the niche, and that really hurts their growth, hurts their channel, and it also hurts their brand, right? Because now people are confused. Okay, what is this guy really doing? I thought he was, you know, primarily good at these type of beats. I love these type of beats from him, but then he posts these beats and I don't really care for him. And so what happens is, when your audience doesn't really care for a certain type of beat, they don't click on it, meaning YouTube won't even promote it. Because why would YouTube promote it to other people if your own fans don't even like it, right? So it becomes like kind of pointless to try and even expand out, when rather you should be expanding in, you know? So method two is, once your main channel is successful, you could also make more Typee channels with the strategies and knowledge you've obtained in the process of making your first channel. I've done that. Yeah, I mean, you've seen, right? I've made all kinds of channels because I realized, wow, this works. When I stick to a niche on a channel, it works. So I'm just going to do this for every niche that I like making, right? Why wouldn't I? And that's kind of how I built like my beat selling empire, right? Now, method three is, you can also stick to one Typee channel and one niche, but make other type beats and produce other other projects on the side. You know, you don't have to only make beats for your Typee channel. This is kind of what I touched up on earlier. You don't have to make beats just for your Typee channel. Okay, it will drive you insane. Now, let's circle back to nailing down your niche. So when choosing your niche, think about what beats you love making the most. What style of music would make you jump out of bed every morning because of how excited you be to make those beats. And if you have no idea where to start when it comes to finding the right niche, I recommend using vidIQ. It's a free website that allows you to search any keyword to see how popular it is and what the competition is like. So this is kind of what it looks like. You see the volume of the keyword and you see the competition, right? So the volume is just kind of like, okay, how many people are searching? If it's 100, then wow, you know, it's super searched. And if the competition is low, then that means wow, you know, not many people are actually posting on it and the demand is super high. So at that point, you know, it just becomes supply and demand, right? So you kind of fill that gap in the market. What I recommend is start searching any styles that you would be interested in making. For example, Summer Walker type beat or Drake type beat or whatever it is, right? And see the competition and the search volume of the keyword. And as an additional resource, I'll leave this video in the description that shows you all about niche selection along with the other crucial fundamentals to growing a Typee channel. So check that out after you finish watching this video. Now, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Okay, once you nail down your niche, you should begin studying guys at the top of the search rankings, right? This will give you an idea of where to start with your channel since you'll already have a rough idea of what's working well. And you can take inspiration from your competitors' thumbnails and their beat style, right? Along with their branding, their theme, etc. What they are doing is working for a reason. So you already have a clear layout of what works. So just capitalize on it, right? Now, also, you want to optimize your titles and thumbnails. If your titles are not SEO optimized and your thumbnails don't make artists want to click, then you are putting yourself at a significant disadvantage compared to other producers that do. And a generally solid way to do your titles in an SEO efficient way is to do your titles like the following. So I would do free artist x artist type beat 2025 and then the beat name, right? Super simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. And for your thumbnails, don't use low quality pictures. Okay, make sure that whatever is on the image is easy to see and visually easy to understand. And to add to that, like a good rule of thumb for thumbnails is kind of like this. So we have a good thumbnail here. This is really high quality. It kind of has like a noise filter on it and it, you know, the branding is really solid. It matches this, right? The picture is super high quality, whereas this is kind of a bad thumbnail because, you know, the picture is low res. You even see that it was ripped off of Instagram because you see like the tagged icon. It's just not really good for brand and it doesn't get a high click-through. Like if you were to see both of these thumbnails, which one are you clicking on? Obviously the one on the left, right? Because it's really high quality. It's appealing to the artists. And it also makes artists take you more seriously when you take yourself seriously, right? When you actually put effort into your graphics, right? And in your marketing and your branding, like it makes people take you more seriously, meaning they'll pay more, right? Whereas you would think, okay, this beat might be 10 bucks, whereas this beat might be 40, 50 for the standard lease, right? Now, your consistency and upload schedule is super important as well. And so I'm going to touch up on that real quick. So the consistency is one of the most important factors that determine your success. This isn't just for type beats. This goes for anything in life. Okay. Now, YouTube rewards channels that upload consistently. If you want to blow up, you're going to have to work for it, believe it or not. I know it might be a crazy concept, but the nice thing is though that let's say it takes you an hour to make a beat, right? If you just take one day out of the week, for example, a Sunday, and crank out 7 beats and schedule them out during the week, your Typee channel runs on autopilot. And I recommend setting up an uploading schedule. You know, if you want to post daily, then post daily at a specific time every single day. And if you can only post 3 times a week, then do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but at the same time each week. Schedule is super important for allowing YouTube to reward you. Now, let's talk about pushing traffic outside of YouTube. So a great way to start getting initial exposure is by sending traffic from outside of YouTube. If you already have a following on another platform like TikTok or Instagram or even an email list, then use that to your advantage when growing your Typee channel. And if you don't already have a following outside of YouTube, then joining free Typee communities can be super beneficial since you can promote your own Typee videos and get feedback. That's exactly what we do in my free community, and if you would like to join mine, I'll leave it in the description for you. But another thing that I wanted to talk about is like looking at your own analytics and see what is getting the most views and then analyze that, right? Why did this video do significantly better than these other videos, right? You want to double down on what works. Take note of what thumbnails are performing the best, what style of beat is performing more than others, right? Whatever is working, do more of that. This is what allowed me to get tens of millions of views for me and my students. Your overall brand and theme of your channel is also crucial for building a fan base that stays loyal. Don't get lazy with this, as it's one of the most important factors that determine your Typee channel's longevity. And for your logo, you can hire someone on Fiverr for around 20 bucks or make one for free in Canva, right? Now fans should instantly recognize your uploads in their feed, and that's why your thumbnails, titles, and beats need to be consistent along with your upload schedule. So why this helps with your channel growth? Well, YouTube pushes your channel out to new people based on if your subscribers are watching your new videos. If your own subscribers get confused because you constantly switch it up, then that leads them to not watching. And if your own fans don't watch your beats, like I said, then YouTube doesn't feel like other people would be interested in watching it either. Now, look, your first 1,000 subs will be the hardest. I'm just gonna be fully transparent and say that now. Think of it as a test though. This is YouTube's way of seeing if you're worthy of being at the top. If you're able to stick it out through these slow days, then there's nothing that will stop you from getting that first 1,000 subs or your first 10k subs and eventually your first 100,000 subs. Every upload compounds, and that's the beauty of this game. So think of every beat you upload as a mini investment towards a successful Typee channel that pays you dividends month after month. So I hope that helps you kind of get an idea of how to get your first 1,000 subs. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good night.